What is DRP? DRP stands for Distribution Requirements Planning. Acumatica's Distribution Requirements Planning, or DRP module, is a powerful planning tool that enables you to satisfy demand while maintaining optimal inventory levels, all from one centralized location. DRP provides suggestions to buy, make, or transfer inventory, and provides exception messages to alter existing orders with the unofficial goal of preventing you from running out of inventory or having too much inventory. It is the process of balancing supply and demand for a given item based on planning settings. Acumatica's DRP module calculates its supply plan based on a number of sources of demand, including forecast, kit components, existing sales orders, reorder points, and safety stock. Lead time is also factored in to ensure a just-in-time plan based on your specific supply and demand requirements. Now let's move into the application to see a demo of distribution requirements planning. Within Acumatica's inventory module, you can maintain your finished goods, subassemblies, and component parts, and determine if those items should be factored into your DRP supply plan calculation or not. The inventory planning workspace serves as a launching point for the material planner, where they can manage and create forecasts, run DRP exceptions, and of course, see your supply plan or the DRP display. A regeneration function is also included so that you can regenerate your DRP supply plan as needed or on an automated schedule. Let's take a DRP example that uses a forecasted item. Here, we've set up a keyboard to be forecasted on a monthly basis. We'd like to forecast a quantity of 100 each for next quarter. I've also marked this forecast to be dependent, meaning that if any sales orders come into Acumatica during the time of this forecast, we will consume the quantity on those sales orders from this forecasted amount. Acumatica is now going to give me a supply plan that will help me understand when I need to purchase the items in order to have them just in time to meet the forecast. Let's take another DRP example where an item is transferred from a different warehouse. Here, we've set up an item to be transferred from the wholesale warehouse. I have a safety stock of 15 laptops, and my transfer lead time is 7 days. Acumatica is going to suggest that I transfer the laptop from the wholesale warehouse anytime my inventory drops below 15 laptops. And my last example is a kit. Here, we've set up a laptop cleaning kit with 4 components, each with a quantity of 1 each. We have a sales order for 50 laptop cleaning kits due on the 19th. Acumatica is going to suggest that I create a kit assembly for the 50 cleaning kits. It's also going to suggest that I purchase the components in order to make the kits, taking into account any lead times. Since this is demo data, and it won't take too long, let's regenerate DRP. But typically, DRP would need to be run nightly or on a schedule. On the DRP display, let's sort by inventory ID. In the source column, we can see how the supply plan is telling us to purchase, transfer, or assemble based on demand. We can use DRP to purchase across multiple warehouses or to purchase from different vendors, and to understand what documents in the system are actually driving demand. Let's take the example of our forecasted item. If we take a look at these lines, you can see here that we have the finished good that we entered the forecast for. Acumatica is letting us know that we need to purchase 100 each of the keyboards on these specific dates. If we click on our side panel, we can see that it's suggesting this date because it's taking into account our 17-day lead time. And it does this with each suggestion for each month. Let's take a look at our transferred item. Here, we can see that we have the finished good that will be transferred. Acumatica is letting us know that we need to transfer 15 laptops from the wholesale warehouse to the retail warehouse immediately, and there's a 7-day lead time. So this is already late since we're out of stock. It's also telling us that in the wholesale warehouse, we need to purchase the laptops to meet the demand of the retail warehouse, as well as purchase 15 laptops to meet the safety stock of the wholesale warehouse. Acumatica is allowing us to generate both the purchase orders for the laptops in the wholesale warehouse, as well as the transfer order for the laptops in the retail warehouse. And finally, if we look at our kit item or laptop cleaning kits, Acumatica is letting us know that we need to create a kit assembly for 50 kits. It's also telling us that we need to purchase the air blower, the brush, the cloth, and the keyboard gel. And notice it's telling us that we need to purchase the components 2 days prior because we have a 2-day lead time. To create a purchase order, transfer order, or kit assembly, I simply click on the line and click the appropriate button at the top. The vendor location, and quantity are defaulted in but could be changed prior to creating the supply order. Once the order is created, it falls off the inventory planning display since we already took action on the suggestion. We can use grouping suggestions to place our items all in one purchase order if they're going to the same vendor. And once the purchase order is created, we'll no longer see them on my DRP display screen. If I want orders to automatically be combined when I generate DRP, I have the option to set this up on the inventory planning preferences. In this example, the orders would be consolidated by using the days of supply on the stock item. Then, after 90 days, it would consolidate demand in 30-day buckets. We can now go through the process of sending our purchase orders out to vendors and receiving them into the inventory as they come into our facility. Let's regenerate DRP once more so we can take a look at our exception messages. Remember that our laptops were out of stock and they needed to be purchased? We now get an exception message that we need to expedite our purchase order. Planners can also use the exceptions list to get an understanding of any orders that might be late, that should be deferred, or perhaps canceled altogether. This exception window can be defined on the DRP preferences screen, along with settings about forecasting and the overall grace period for replenishment parameters. If you're looking for further flexibility on the DRP display, you can use Acumatica's tools to filter down and modify the data. For example, if you want to see your suggestions for a particular warehouse, then you can select the warehouse from your list and filter your DRP to see just those suggestions. The same applies for any parameter on the screen. If you only wanted to see your replenishments or suggestions from one particular vendor, then you could use the column header to filter down on that vendor, or you could just click on the vendor and Shift F, and this will create a quick filter just as easily. Acumatica is well known for its ease of use, and that certainly extends to the DRP module. DRP also has planning buckets, which can be created with intervals of day, week, month, or year. And these can be viewed on the Inventory Planning Requirements by Item screen. Acumatica's DRP module provides one centralized location to manage supply and demand. You can create purchase orders, transfer orders, and kit assemblies based on multiple sources of system demand. Lead times are considered for just-in-time inventory management, helping you to keep your facility lean. You can manage material requirements across multiple warehouses and locations, and use our regeneration feature, which can be scheduled automatically.